Under the blazing afternoon sun of Ipitu village, the drums of celebration thundered through the air. Women danced in vibrant wrappers, children chased each other through the dust, and men gathered in circles speaking of palm wine and politics. But in the midst of all this joy, everyone's eyes were on him, Oba Adeyemi, the young prince who had just returned from the city. He was the kind of man who made people stop mid-sentence, tall, well-spoken, with the confidence of someone who had seen life beyond the red soil of the village. The elders said the king had already arranged for him to marry the most beautiful maiden in the land, a woman so stunning that even the sun seemed to pause to admire her face. Yet on the day the maidens were presented before him, Oba's eyes did not rest on the golden-skinned beauty in the embroidered wrapper. No, his gaze lingered on someone else. A young woman stood at the far end, half hidden behind the others. Her name was Adoni. She was not the kind of woman that turned heads at first glance. Her hair was plaited simply, her wrapper plain, her skin kissed by the hard work of farm life. But there was something in her eyes, a quiet strength, the kind that seemed to hold secrets older than the village itself. When he smiled at her, she looked away, as though unsure if he meant it. But Oba couldn't shake the feeling that she saw through him, past the fine clothes, past the prince's title, into the boy who once sat under the moonlight listening to his grandmother's tales. The elders noticed his distraction. Prince Adeyemi, one of them said with a sly smile, "Surely your eyes will return to the beauty we have chosen for you. Adoni. She is no match for your royal standing." But the prince only replied, "Sometimes, a river runs deeper than its surface shows." That night, while the rest of the village celebrated, Oba found Adoni alone near the old Iroko tree, her hands busy weaving palm fronds into a mat. "You didn't dance today," he said. She didn't look up. "Not every celebration is for me, my prince." He chuckled softly. "And yet I feel you belong in everyone." For a moment, their eyes met, and Oba saw something flicker in her gaze, warmth, and a shadow of pain. Before he could speak again, a sudden wind rushed through the trees, carrying with it the faint sound of distant drums, drums that did not belong to their village. Adoni's fingers froze. Her breathing quickened. "You should go back, my prince," she whispered, glancing toward the dark forest beyond. "The night is not safe." "But the danger, is it for me or for you?" Oba asked. Her lips parted as though to answer, but footsteps echoed in the darkness, heavy, deliberate, coming closer. Oba turned toward the sound, but Adoni's hand shot out, gripping his wrist with surprising strength. "You must not be seen here, not with me. Not tonight." From the shadows, a tall figure emerged, his face hidden beneath a raffia mask, his voice low and chilling. "Prince Adeyemi, so, the rumors are true. You have chosen her." The drums grew louder, the air thick with an unspoken threat. The masked figure stepped forward, the flickering torchlight casting long shadows that danced across his raffia skirt. Oba felt Adoni's grip tighten, her nails digging into his skin as though she could anchor him to safety by sheer will. "Who are you to question my choice?" Oba's voice was calm, but his hand instinctively rested on the hilt of the short dagger tucked into his sash. The man tilted his head slowly, the beads on his mask rattling like a warning. "In this village, prince, beauty is not just for the eyes, it is protection. The elders choose a wife for the heir, not for love, but to guard the throne." Oba narrowed his eyes. "Guard the throne, from what?" The masked man chuckled darkly, the sound carrying through the forest like a drumbeat before a war. "From her kind." Adoni's shoulders stiffened. She stepped in front of the prince, her voice steady but low. "Enough. You've said too much." But the man didn't stop. He pointed a long, bony finger at her. "She carries the curse of the Okuta Eye, the stone of life. Marry her, and you marry the burden that killed your grandfather." Oba's heartbeat pounded in his ears. He had heard whispers of the Okuta Eye as a child, a sacred stone said to bind itself to the bloodline of those who touch it. Whoever bore it would never know peace, for it drew both blessings and enemies in equal measure. Tell me the truth, Adoni, Oba said quietly. Her lips trembled, but her eyes did not waver. My mother carried it before me. She died because she refused to give it up. Now it is mine. And yes, it will follow me wherever I go. The masked man took a step closer, his voice now a hiss. If you bring her into the palace, the stone enters with her. And with it, death. In the distance, the forest answered with a low rumble, not thunder, but something older, heavier. The leaves shivered as if touched by unseen hands. Oba drew in a deep breath. And if I turn away from her? The man paused, then spoke in a voice almost pitying. Then she dies before the next full moon. The stone will claim her for itself. Silence fell, broken only by the crackle of the torch. Oba looked at Adoni, her face half lit, half shadowed, as though even the night couldn't decide whether to hide or reveal her. Go back to your celebration, Prince, the masked man said, stepping back into the shadows. Forget her. Forget this night. Without another word, he melted into the darkness, his footsteps swallowed by the forest. Adoni's hand dropped from Oba's wrist. She turned away, her voice barely above a whisper. Now you see why the elders did not choose me. But Oba shook his head. No. Now I see why they fear you. She looked at him then, truly looked, as if searching for any crack in his resolve. But whatever she saw made her eyes glisten, not with tears, but with something deeper. You're a prince, she said. You cannot choose love over the safety of your people. And you, he replied, are more than a danger. You are my choice. Before she could answer, the forest erupted with the sound of more footsteps, fast, purposeful, too many to count. Torches flared in the distance, their orange glow cutting through the night. They've come for me, Adoni whispered. Who? Oba asked, pulling his dagger free. The Age Oro, keepers of the stone. They will not stop until they take it back. From between the trees, figures in crimson robes emerged, their eyes glinting like predators in the dark. The leader raised his staff, and the torches around them suddenly went out, plunging everything into a suffocating blackness. Somewhere in that darkness, a voice spoke in a language Oba had never heard, and the ground beneath their feet began to tremble. The trembling earth was followed by a faint hum, low at first, then rising like a swarm of bees filling the air. Oba's grip on his dagger tightened, but Adoni's hand caught his wrist again. Don't fight them, she whispered urgently. The stone will protect us, if it still accepts me. Before Oba could ask what she meant, a blinding blue light flared beneath her feet. It started as a crack in the soil, then widened into a glowing mark, strange symbols spiraling outward in every direction. The crimson-robed figures froze, their chanting breaking into uneasy murmurs. The leader stepped forward, his staff glowing a sickly green. She still carries it, he snarled. Then she must die before the moon shifts. With a sharp flick of his staff, the forest wind surged, snuffing out the blue glow. Adoni staggered, clutching her chest as if something inside her was being pulled away. Adoni! Oba shouted, catching her before she fell. She gritted her teeth. They're trying to sever the bond. If they succeed, the stone will kill me itself. The Age Oro closed in, their red robes swaying like blood in water. Oba stepped in front of her, dagger raised. You'll have to go through me first. The leader's laugh was like dry leaves in a fire. Prince, you do not even understand what you defend. The stone chooses love, and then destroys it. In that instant, Oba realized, every choice he made tonight would ripple through the throne, the village, maybe even the land itself. But his heart had already chosen. The leader swung his staff, sending a wave of force rushing toward them. Oba braced himself, but before the wave hit, Adoni let out a sharp cry and slammed her palms into the ground. The earth answered. Roots burst upward like serpents, wrapping around the Age Oro, tearing the staff from the leader's grip. The hum returned, louder now, vibrating in Oba's chest. The blue light flared again, but this time, it wasn't just beneath her, it was in her eyes. The leader snarled, struggling against the roots. "She's awakening it. Stop her before." His words cut off as one of the roots tightened around his throat. "Oba," Adoni gasped, her voice shaking. "I can drive them away, but when I do, the stone will bind itself to both of us." He didn't hesitate. "Then let it." Her eyes widened, shimmering with something that looked like fear or love. Before she could protest, the forest roared, not with wind, but with a deep, ancient voice that seemed to rise from the roots themselves. The ground split open beneath them, revealing a swirling pit of light and shadow. The aged Oro screamed as they were dragged toward it, their bodies dissolving into dust before they even touched the light. Oba felt himself being pulled too, but Adoni's hands gripped his face, holding his gaze. "If you go in with me, you'll never be the same." "Then I'll be yours," he said simply. The last of the forest vanished as the light swallowed them whole. Oba's eyes opened to a place that was not the forest. They stood in a vast, endless plain of silver mist. Above them, the sky was not sky at all, but a swirling ocean of stars, each one pulsing faintly like a heartbeat. The air was heavy, yet strangely still. "This is the heart of the stone," Adoni whispered. "Here, it decides who is worthy, and who is not." Before Oba could reply, the mist began to shift. From it emerged shadowy forms, twisted, faceless beings that radiated both sorrow and rage. Their voices layered over one another, speaking in a single, chilling tone. "You dare bind yourself to her, knowing what we are." Oba stepped forward. "I don't care what you are. I choose her." The shadows circled them slowly. "Then prove your choice is not weakness." Without warning, the mist surged upward, swallowing Adoni whole. Her scream echoed, fading into the distance. "Adoni!" Oba ran forward, but the mist resisted him, clinging to his arms and legs like chains. The voices spoke again, "Leave her, and you will be free. Stay, and you will be bound to her curse until death." He clenched his jaw. "If that's the price, then I pay it." The shadows hesitated, then the mist cleared. Adoni stood before him, eyes wide, tears shimmering like glass. In her hands was the Okuta eye, glowing a deep, eternal blue. "It has chosen," she whispered, stepping closer. When the stone touched his chest, Oba felt it, the pull, the weight, the bond. Memories not his own flooded his mind, lifetimes of lovers who had carried the stone together, and lifetimes of those torn apart because they feared it. The voices faded into the distance. The mist began to dissolve. When they opened their eyes again, they were back beneath the old Iroko tree. The torches, the robed figures, the danger, all gone. The forest was silent. Adoni placed a hand on his cheek. "Now you are bound to me. To my curse. To my fate." Oba smiled faintly. "Then let the world come for us. I will still choose you." From far away, the sound of the village drums began again, not of warning, but of celebration. Somewhere, the elders would soon realize the prince had made his choice, and that nothing could unmake it now. And beneath the moonlight, hand in hand, the man who chose love over beauty led the woman with the curse toward the life they would face together, no matter the cost. If you gained something from this video, drop a comment below. Like and subscribe.